What if your body isn't failing to heal? It just doesn't feel safe enough to. Most people come into healing looking for the right solution, the right treatment, the next thing to try. But what I see over and over again is that the body isn't always in a state to receive it. And when that's the case, nothing really sticks. In the last episode, we talked about how to build a body that can hold you. Your breath, your presence, your ability to stay. But what happens when your body isn't there yet? When it still feels like it's bracing, holding, or resisting anything new? Because in those moments, it's not about doing more. It's about support. In this episode, we're talking about acupuncture, not as something that fixes you, but as something that helps the body shift into a state where it can finally let go, regulate, and begin to heal. I'm joined today by acupuncturist Matt Greene, owner of Serenity Acupuncture in San Clemente. And this conversation isn't really about needles. It's about what happens when the body finally feels safe enough to respond differently. So thanks for coming on the show, Matt.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to jump right in. When someone first enters your space, what's the first thing you notice?
So somebody walks into my office. I'm paying attention to their gait, their conversational style, like how fast they're talking, whether they're worried about whether they got there on time or if they're late or all kinds of things like that. A little nitpicky stuff, because that's how I can gauge how stressed they are, how comfortable they are in their own skin, how safe they feel, how safe their nervous system is making them feel. So those are the key factors. When they're filling out their paperwork, I might look at how they're seated. Are they comfortable? Are they grimacing? Are they in pain? Things like that. So that's the main things that I'm checking on when somebody walks in.
Can you feel if they're stressed out or there's a sense of urgency right away?
Usually somebody walks in, you can tell how tightly they're wound.
Yes, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah. I mean, you know the people who come in and they're talking a mile a minute and they're apologizing before they even walk in the door about being 1-2 minutes late, and they're rushing and let me fill out your paperwork. I'm sorry.
Do you feel like people are aware of how much they're holding or the state that they're in when they come in?
Not usually. It's certainly not the first time they walk in my door. They're just self-conscious.
I see.
They're worried about causing me inconvenience or something like that. A lot of times they assume that we have everything together.
It's true.
And that they are a mess.
Yeah.
And
we're
that's
just
really
always...
not the case. I can tell when somebody's really hyperly vigilant about getting there on time, filling stuff out, all that kind of stuff. They get caught up in the minutia.
Mm-hmm. I agree. That happens to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So when someone comes in like that, what actually starts to shift during the first session?
I'm or at least people tell me, I'm pretty easy to get along with. I'm unassuming. I don't pressure people. No. I am not judgy. So usually I can set people at ease pretty quickly. They don't feel like, oh, I'm being analyzed, judged,
categorized.
Because that's really not who I am. So when we're having a conversation about their case, their health, they get to talk about themselves, and they either go way overboard or undertone. There's two different kinds of people, it seems like. There's people who, there's very short answers, and then there's people who want to tell you everything that's ever happened to them.
Yes. Since birth.
So you got to kind of play both sides and move everybody to the middle, an appropriate place of disclosure, more or less.
How do you decide what's appropriate for that first session?
That's a good question. If it's a real physical problem, that's usually where I start. It's like, I'm not going to go too deep into the emotional stuff and all that. I might touch on, wow, maybe this has to do with some stress levels or some things you're dealing with in your life, but we're going to really concentrate on getting that muscle to release and you feeling in less pain. Mm-hmm. But then there's other people who come in for just that, like I'm so stressed. I have clinical depression. I can't sleep, or all I do is sleep. So that you immediately have to okay, we're going to have a nice long conversation here.
So that's your entry point.
Yeah.
What changes first with people? Is it like the breath? Is it their tension? Is it the nervous system? Even when you're targeting that muscle, can you decide how you're going to set up the needles to facilitate?
Yeah, there's ways to relax the nervous system before the person even is aware that that's happening. So there's really easy points in the ear that you might want to start with that down regulate the nervous system. You can kind of switch them from sympathetic to parasympathetic right off the bat. So that's like switching from fight or flight to rest and restore. So physical symptoms would be like their breathing slows down.
Yes.
Their heart rate slows down. Their blood pressure drops. Their heart rate slows down. All these things.
And that will all happen within the session, right?
Yeah.
So when you walk in after the first session, can you see the changes?
Yeah.
When they're sort of coming
out of
it?
Yes. There's the acupuncture high. That's what we call it. You feel like you've almost had a drink and you're not quite as sharp as you were when you walked in, but it's a nice feeling. People aren't used to being relaxed, so they often, I get this all the time. I have a ton of patients who say, man, I need to go home and take a nap. I'm like, you really don't. You just don't recognize being relaxed. You just don't recognize it. You're so used to being
at a 10.
Just tight and go, that you don't recognize how to function in life at a normal state of arousal.
That's a good point. What do you recommend people do
afterwards? I tell people, don't do any nothing strenuous, but you can walk, you can stretch, you can drink tons of water. Some part of what acupuncture does is, even if I'm treating an orthopedic issue, I'm still stimulating your lymphatic system, your liver, your kidneys. So you want to give the body lots of water to get rid of the toxins, the inflammatory chemicals that are floating around your system, get them out. Like a nice walk, a lot of water, things like that.
I always walk after our sessions.
Yeah.
I find that integrates whatever we do.
Yes.
And it's not leisurely, but it's also not like super fast paced. It's
just a walk.
Just a walk. So what I've actually experienced with acupuncture myself is where I've come in with specific pain, but I've also come in with, and I said this in a different episode, and I said, when I first met Matt, I walked in and I said, can you just make me a girl?
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
And that was my nervous system.
Yeah.
It was, yes, fight or flight, but in a different way. It was in that producing that.
Yeah.
And I I didn't know how to feel any different.
Yeah.
But I know I wanted to.
Yeah. In acupuncture, there's yin and yang. Yin
Mhm.
is very female, yang is very male. There's aspects of each in each, but primarily yin is female, yang is male. And you've been running your business, you've been healing, you've been a doctor, you've been a kick-ass businesswoman. You have a lot of yang energy. And so we had to nourish and nurture that yin side of you, that quiet, nurturing, motherly.
Well, and before I could even get there, my body, what you helped the most with, I think, in the beginning was just getting my body to settle down. There was no amount of breathing, yoga, because everything just felt so performative that I didn't know how to just receive.
Yeah. You're used to giving.
Yeah.
And I'm not great at that either. I'm a great giver. I am not a great receiver.
Well, that's part of life, right? You have to learn the lessons that we came in to learn.
Totally.
Also, it's important for us to learn how to build the capacity to receive.
To balance ourselves out, to create longevity for ourselves.
There's so many things that need to stay in balance with that.
Yeah.
So sometimes you're going in with a targeted area, but is it really about fixing anything, or is it primarily to shift the body into that different state so that it can receive
The healing.
the healing?
Yeah.
And so I'm always trying to back people up a little bit because they want to go to the next thing. Oh, that didn't work. I'm going to go here. Or how many visits is it going to take before I feel better? You know, what you do, what happens to your body outside the treatment, and how aware you are of your patterns are all part of how the body and when the body can start to receive.
Right. Yeah, there's so much patient education as far as expectations, slowing down to allow the healing to happen. This is not pharmaceutical medicine. You're not popping a pill and expecting something to literally change in 2 to 3 days. Acupuncture is a journey, just like all natural medicine is a journey. It's not a quick fix.
No. But the results are much more long-lasting.
Yeah.
And lifetime
sure.
tools.
You're not getting any negatives. You're just getting a slower, steadier, positive effect.
I agree. And it's like when I started training and doing visceral manipulation, which is mobilization and motility of the organs, the French osteopaths would always say, even if you got a 10% change, the body continues to take that shift that you gave it and it received. Their study showed like up to 21 days. And that doesn't mean you only come in every 21 days, because some people are really slow movers and you need to ramp it up a little bit so that they can go.
Yeah.
But that just attests to the patient part where, hey, you might feel a little something off the table. We're always looking for a little shift. But then you might find like in a week, something really opened up for you.
Yeah.
Or like you said, those toxins drained out, and that was the shift your nervous system needed to be able to hold more space for healing for the next thing or the next treatment.
Absolutely.
Do you ever have people come in that where they're just not quite ready to receive yet?
Yeah. Yeah. I've been doing this 22 years. Acupuncture is not the answer for every single patient. There are people with legit phobias, and they're not going to get to a place where they feel comfortable enough to sit for half an hour with needles in them. And that's okay. We can use pressure. We can use touch. We can use Reiki. There's lots of other ways to manipulate chi and help the healing process without needles. And yeah, there are people whose nervous system, due to trauma, due to this, due to that need a different type of therapy maybe before they come to acupuncture or some other modality.
That makes sense. So if someone's on the treatment table and has agreed or decided to try acupuncture, do you have those bodies even though they're willing?
Their mind is willing, yeah.
And their body is still resisting it?
Sure. Yeah, they're like, ow, 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 almost every needle. Yeah, I've had patients like that. And I feel awful when that happens. So when you put in an acupuncture needle, you put it in and you adjust a little. There's a little tug on the fascia. Certainly with those kinds of patients, there's no tugging on the fascia. There's no nothing. There's just entry, just trying to get it through the skin. That's it. And then there's other patients that, you can wail on them and they're quite the opposite. You have to really stimulate the needle to get any sort of sensation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I feel like I could put 5 needles in the size of a dime and that would stimulate them.
Well, I'm glad that's not me.
Yeah, that's not most people, but over 20 something years, you find, there's all kinds, every kind of continuum of the patient.
Have you had people come in where, I don't know, you're like the Hail Mary where they've tried everything and nothing has stuck?
Yeah, I've had people who said, it's either this works or I'm getting back surgery. Or I'm going to have to go on an SSRI. Or I'm going to have to take blood pressure medication. Lots of different pharmaceutical solutions.
Do you find that those people, are they resistant?
No, they're hopeful most of the time. Most of the time, because I think, fortunately and unfortunately, in the West, acupuncture is kind of like mystical. And
I don't know. I think it's getting. That's part of why we're doing this episode is to sort of demystify.
Yes. This is not a miracle. It's like when you do this in China, where it came from, it's not uncommon to get treatment 5 days in a row. That's not weird. But in our country, that would sound insane. Even though that's probably the way sometimes we should do it, but we don't do it like that here because of the cost and the people's time and their schedules. And even if they can afford it, they can't get there 5 days in a row.
Yeah, if they can afford it, usually they don't have time for it. But, if you were my Hail Mary, if I got to make it work, I got to make it work. If you really don't want the alternative.
Yes.
Then
there are sacrifices to be made.
You want me in here every day for 2 weeks just to see if there's a shift? Okay. And so some of it is, I think we need to really just educate.
Yes. That's
right?
A lot of education.
Right. So if someone who's really resistant that comes in, and it's the Hail Mary for blood pressure, back pain, do you spend more time in that education process about this is what happens to the blood pressure, the nervous system?
Yeah.
If you're almost to exploding, it's going to take a little bit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Mount Vesuvius is about to erupt. We're kind of sticking a cork in it and hoping that it plugs.
Or maybe trying different things together. Like I like to co-treat with different practitioners. People always say, oh, well, if you're seeing that, then I can't see you. We won't know what worked. And I just think that's all a crock.
I do too.
Anybody that, hey, if it's helping, come on board.
Throw the kitchen sink at it. The only caveat I would put on that is you can overstimulate tissue.
Yes.
You can cause inflammation by trying to fix tissue.
And that's the fixing part of it versus what other support do we need? Whether it's, I need you to take a walk. I need you to do nothing for an hour before bedtime. Those type of things. Or
I need you to get to work a half an hour before work starts.
Just to sit there.
Just to not rush.
Some people just aren't aware that they can slow down.
Yeah.
And some of that's giving yourself permission to. I had to.
Yeah.
I am you just work till you go to sleep, and you get up and start over again. And my body didn't think so, as you know.
Yeah.
I've probably been seeing Matt for like 6 years. And so interesting because I always wanted to try acupuncture, and I just never had. And so I wasn't my Hail Mary, but I thought, okay, I knew it was my nervous system.
Yeah.
And so invaluable, will never not have it as part of my wellness things that I choose to do to stay level.
Yeah.
And then maybe do it more when I'm dropping down. But for me, there's a maintenance. It's a maintenance, but it also, I still am able to build more capacity because I've learned how to not be on full throttle. Your body actually, when it drops down into that settled state, and starts to heal some of the things that you have abused, it will then build more capacity when you have to use it.
Yeah.
You're just not there all the time.
I'm convinced that acupuncture is not different from a sauna or a cold plunge or weightlifting. It builds resilience in your body. The process of getting acupuncture is making you stronger. It's these little irritations, so to speak, around your body and your body handling it.
Yes. What am I going to do with this?
More or less, it's your body handling it and moving chi in a beautiful, choreographed way, and that creates a resilience going forward. When life hits you, it doesn't hit you as hard, or it hits you as hard, but you're not as affected by that.
You're not reacting.
You're not reacting. Your blood pressure isn't spiking. You're not getting a migraine, things like that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think it's an invaluable tool. Do you think that building a resistance to stress, more a capacity
to
handle stress, is that something people are aware of? Or is that something that we need to, like through this podcast, be more forthcoming with before we go to the treatment side of it?
I think that people, because of the kind of push in wellness industry towards building resilience, I think they're becoming a little more educated about what that means. But yeah, I think education is imperative for every doctor in every modality, every school of thought, that they have to teach what they're doing and why they're doing it.
It's that, and it's also being open-minded that other things can help.
Yeah.
And a lot of
This
times
isn't the only answer.
It's a varied condition to find the right set of things for a particular person or patient that works for them.
Yeah, and sometimes it's the person. It's not even what they do, it's the healer. You find someone whose frequency resonates with you, and you feel really safe and really taken care of.
And that's
when you can drop in and you can make some huge strides towards health and strength and resilience.
I agree, 100%.
Peace. Yeah.
That's what we're all striving for.
Yeah. But you know it when you walk into a room. It doesn't take long. You immediately feel, I feel good with this person. Or I want to run out of here. I feel judged. I feel
and that's that sense of safety that we're talking. If you don't have that in the space that you walked into when you're seeking help, very rarely, if not ever, is whatever they do, their treatment that they're offering, you are going to get the best benefit from. Because you're not even able to trust. And that's the beginning of, am I safe? Yeah. Even within your own body, it's because we're not trusting ourselves.
Yeah.
And we might not be aware of it because we were taught, we're in a society where it's fix. Versus, let me understand what's happening in my body.
Or process oriented.
Because then the solution just appears. It happens.
It happens.
You don't have to be, it must have been this.
Yeah, I'm not always concerned about what that is. I don't even really care. Like, I'm not a big diagnoser. I often tell my patients, I'm not exactly sure what's wrong with your shoulder, but I know I can make you feel better. I know I can help you.
It would depend on what your goals are, how you want to perform, and yes, the mechanics and all of that. But that's where the duality of treating works out really well. Because I drop into my physical therapy brain. And so you get into the mechanics of it, but you still have to have the muscles or the structures that are overdoing it calm down before these guys will wake up and join the party.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you notice a difference between someone who's able to let go, like they walk in and just, all right, put the needles in, I'm going to take a nap, put the heat lamp on, that would be me now, versus someone who's still trying to control the process, like we talked about, dropping into the process versus the solution.
It's funny. I have a patient who's a brilliant doctor. She's very driven, very ambitious. She's intensely smart, intellectual.
She's a boss lady.
She's a boss lady. She runs a big practice. Just yesterday, we were talking about what we were going to do that day. And before that, we had talked about how much better she's feeling. Consistently, she's feeling more stable. She can eat more food. So it's a lot of digestive stuff, a lot of stress-caused digestive stuff. She's noticing that she can eat more different foods, and she's not having relapses. And her instinct was to talk to me about something we had done a while ago, which was using a little bit of electrical stimulation. And I had to coach her and teach her that, like, no. You're doing great. We're moving really steadily in the right direction. I'm not poking the bear. I need to overstimulate. You're going exactly the way I want you to go and the way you want to go. So yes, there are patients that are very much up in their
Cerebral,
head, very cerebral. Yes, their instinct is to talk to you about the treatment.
Try to control where it's going.
And kind of joystick the treatment a little bit. And that's when you have to, as a doctor, be like, no, we're going the right way. You're going to keep going, and we're going to keep going, and this is going to be great.
And so once you have that conversation and you can say, like, look, you used to not be able to do this.
Yeah.
Do they then at some point just give you the gauntlet and say, okay?
It was really funny because after she mentioned wanting to do the e-stim, I said, no way. We had that conversation. She immediately said, and we said it at the same time. Because I was going to say, I appreciate you participating in what we're doing. And she said, I appreciate you. And we said, I appreciate you at the same time. And she was going to say, I appreciate you for putting me in my place. I'm the patient. Take care of me. And she did. She settled in, happy as a clam, got a great treatment.
See, we just learned to let go.
Sometimes there's a little ADD with treatment.
Sure.
People they're so used to feeling good, bad, good, bad, 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 good, good, bad, good, bad, bad. They're all over the place. When they start to stabilize, I think there's like a misconception that, like, I don't know if they're bored or they're like...
It's this loss of stimulus.
Maybe.
So it's a little dopamine.
Yes.
When I'm used to being all over the place, that's familiar.
Yes.
And so when I go into unfamiliar, even though it's a better place, a more helpful place, a more stable.
Stable feels like, I don't know what to do here. I don't know what to do when I feel good all the time. Or, I don't need as much help and I can do what I need to do in life. Just kind of cruise along at a decent level.
People have their certain routines, and I need this much help from practitioners or whatnot. Because I'm feeling better, we have a lag on what I'm going to do at that time.
Yeah.
I should be fill in the blank versus just, hey, what do I want to do?
Yeah.
It's very hard to flip into that when you're even...
A little bit of freedom.
Right. People don't know what to do with that freedom, even if it's just in your head.
Or in your body. Yeah.
Right.
Freedom
versus just, you don't have to do anything. Just go sit in the backyard and enjoy not being in pain.
Yeah.
Or enjoy not feeling like your heart is out of your chest or that you don't have a headache.
Yeah.
Just
be.
And then when you drop down under that radar for a while, it like opens up.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I think I'm going to go do this. Or I like to have slower mornings for the most part. Go out and sit out in the backyard and just sit. It's just a nice just half an hour before I go, okay, I can start my day.
Yeah, I'm ready. That freedom to have that space is a gift.
I used to walk around the house in circles for the 30 minutes instead of actually enjoying it.
Yeah, fill that space.
Yeah. So maybe it's just telling people like, hey, when you get some space, whether it's from pain or activity or your brain, don't fill it. Just don't.
Get used to empty space. Get used to quietness. Get used to
being present.
Doing nothing.
Yeah, and actually being present within that nothing.
Yeah.
Because when you're looking to fill it, you're already in the future. You're not in that present moment. And you lose so much.
Yeah.
You don't even
There's nothing wrong with reading, but you don't have to read.
Right.
Yeah.
I have all these choices of something that will either light my fire or relax. And I think that drops down into that more like nervous system safety of not having to have something going on all the time, whether it's the TV, the music in the background, because you just feel like it's a wind up. Now, if you're chilling doing nothing and you're just listening to some good vibes, that's totally different.
You're actively being passive.
Yes. Yes. I think we need to normalize more of that.
Yeah, big time. The wonderfulness of doing nothing.
It's the same thing as allowing versus controlling, or trusting versus being used to or familiar with that sense of urgency.
Yeah, urgency is tough to deal with on a chronic level.
That's actually what's killing
us.
That's what's changing all the systems. That's why your nervous system is blown out and you've got migraines and you've got chronic pain and digestive and lymph.
Even the musculoskeletal stuff is just, you're just tight. You're
bracing. But if you're aware of it and be like, you're fine. The pattern changes itself. Same thing with the sense of urgency of someone who can't fill in their time or is used to being bad, good, good, bad, okay.
I have lots of patients who are over aware of their body. I think that can be an issue too, is when you're paying attention to the minutia. Oh, that didn't feel right in my ankle. And then 5 minutes later it's gone, but you're perseverating on what's wrong with my ankle. And it's gone already, it's fine, but mentally you're still going through that, and that link that keeps going with different things throughout the day. You're always paying attention to tiny little tweaks and things in our body that don't need to be paid attention.
That you could just relax.
You could
let the moment go and keep going.
Let it go. It's never going to come back. There are noises in your car that you'll never understand.
So true.
Right? And your car works fine.
You keep driving.
It's the same thing with your body. There are little feelings you're going to feel that don't mean anything. You're going to be fine. You just let it go.
So a good point is it's less about doing more and more about how the body is able to receive. So when a shift happens for a patient through acupuncture, what's different?
What's different in their body?
Yeah.
Well, physically, I would go back to the down-regulating of the nervous system, with the heart rate slowing, the blood pressure dropping, the blood sugar dropping. That's why I always tell people to eat before they come. Because I've had patients who've come in for acupuncture starving, gotten acupuncture, and they didn't feel so hot afterwards because their blood sugar is so low that they're kind of having a little bit of a crash. So if I know that that's the case, I'm going to feed them, whether they want to or not. Here, eat this banana.
Here's a nut.
Yeah, here's some nuts.
Yeah.
This is going to work a lot better. Because also what you're doing in acupuncture normally is you're trying to build some chi. You need raw materials to build chi. It doesn't come from nothing. You take in food, you take in air. Both of those things combine and you make chi. You make energy.
Within the body. I like that.
It's fuel.
Yeah. So the support is what allows the body to build the capacity. So if you're not giving it the support in food, water, basic support of life.
And obviously the better quality of food you take in, the better quality of chi you're going to have in your body.
Do emotions ever come up for people during sessions?
Yeah, absolutely. I find that acupuncture is really great at helping the body not get stuck feeling the same emotion over and over. Like for grief, let's say. I have a lot of patients who come in, they've lost their parent, they've lost their loved ones. You can get stuck in that place really easily. Acupuncture helps you process and move through those emotions. I know there's different stages of grief and stuff. It facilitates that movement through. And then I have patients who, I'm going to use my wife as an example. Occasionally, she'll get angry during acupuncture.
Really?
Because she's got some liver stuff going on. And she will not express a whole lot, but she'll tell me, because we're so close, yeah, you're pissing me off. Or something's pissing me off. I don't really want to be doing this right now. And that's okay. That's fine. That's an expression of liver chi unblocking, right? So that's fine with me, and that happens. Every organ in Chinese medicine has a different emotion associated with it. So when I know somebody comes in, it's like, I can't stop thinking about this. I can't stop worrying about this. I can't stop. I got the same thing running over in my head over and over and over. That's a spleen issue, often associated with some digestive issues and things. So I'll treat the spleen. If somebody comes in and, like, I'm just pissed off all the time. I have no patience for my kids. I have no patience for my customers. That's more the frustration, anger, liver stuff. So you move the chi that needs to be moved to help people through those emotions.
Do you let them know before, after?
Yeah, we talk about it.
We're going to unload all the toxins in your liver so everything can move through. The toxins, everything's energy.
Yeah.
Right? So
everything's vibrating.
It's the energy of emotion that we're going to move that through, along with dumping out all the rest of the toxins.
Yeah. And then I'll give them some exercises or something to do to further facilitate that shifting and moving of emotions.
Do you see people that have shifts other than in the emotional or physical body? My thing is that there's 4 bodies. So there's that emotional, physical, mental, and spiritual.
Yeah. I have another patient. He was a hard drinking alcoholic. And over the last 3 to 4 years, he has made the most amazing transformation into this beautiful, deep, thoughtful, in control man, mature, loving man. And so, yeah, his entire spiritual being is totally different than it was 3 years ago. He's also an artist, so he created some art and he gave me some pieces, and I was just like, wow, it's been such an honor to be on this journey with you. I mean, it's not often you get to see somebody who's that far gone come to that great of a height of awareness and evolution. It's been a blessing. Yeah. So yes, that does happen.
That's so cool.
That's the special stuff.
I know, and oftentimes we don't always get to be on the whole of their journey. So that's really special that you got to witness that and participate actually in that as one of his practitioners.
Definitely one of my greatest gifts in the last 20 years is watching this.
Did he know the changes that was going on in his body as he was going through the process? Like when he looks back from...
Yeah,
very aware.
Because he's sober and clear-headed and clear-minded, and so he can see where he came from and where he is now. And by no means is he, perfect, but he's just so far removed from the pain he was in.
It's like the body's been carrying something. And oftentimes, with all addiction, is we're carrying pain and we're numbing it through various things.
Yeah, there's a lot of self-medication. Yeah.
Those are things that never had the space to move. And so through something like acupuncture, helping facilitate to clear those pathways, it's not just the toxins. It's your emotions. It is the stuckness that you feel that you consciously or subconsciously numb from. It's allowing that conduit to be free so that you can receive all the wonderful things and the messages that the universe is always trying to tell us.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's that full connection that comes in.
To be blinded and then have vision.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he couldn't see any of those signs before from the universe and from his friends and from his family. And
you can't hear it. You can't see it.
You can't see it. And then over time, you see more and more.
Well, then you can't unsee it.
And you like seeing it. And you want more of it.
Right.
Yeah.
In a healthy way.
Absolutely.
Right? There are people who become addicted to what someone would think is healthy, but it's actually negative, like exercise. Because being fit is accepted in socially in external validation, you can overdo that.
For sure.
I think you can even overdo like your eating.
Yeah.
Like the
militant eating.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's just a replacement, not a moving something so it can move through you and you can be in a healthier mindset about everything that
if you're too rigid and too tight about anything, really, in my opinion, that's not necessarily health. Health is the ability to adapt and move and eat a piece of cake and then the next day go back to your routine.
Right. But be happy while you're eating that cake.
Both of those things can exist simultaneously. Yes.
Very true. From your perspective, what does it actually feel like when the body starts to shift for the person on the table?
Well, I think it's different for everybody, but in the treatment, like during the treatment, your body starts to feel heavy. It might be part of your body, it might be all of your body, but there's a sinking into the table where you're, when you get on a table and you settle in, there's still a little bit of holding. And then once that shift starts to happen, all the holding is released and you just really sink in and everything is relaxed and heavy and slow and safe.
Would you consider that the body being grounded?
You can only let go if you're grounded and safe. If you don't feel that way, you're not gonna let go. You're gonna keep your guard up. So yeah, that's part of it.
That's what we're really talking about.
Yeah.
It's not fixing the body all at once. It's creating the conditions where it no longer has to hold so tightly.
Right.
And that's just a perfect explanation of that, of just, I have felt that. It's the opposite of floating. You're so held by the earth that you don't have to keep anything on. And I do believe the needles, it's not woo, but your magic of knowing what you want to do for that session. I don't even ask. You just start sticking. I'm not like, oh, what's this for anymore? Because I know you've already read my body. I've probably told you what was going on in that week and the pulse and boom. And I think that's also a perk of working with the same practitioner for a long time. Absolutely. You know my life, you know my body.
Yeah, and you feel safe.
My baseline, and I feel very safe.
Yeah, there's a rapport that is important in all healing relationships.
A lot of it's your energy, man.
Yeah.
You have a very open, kind love for all humans, not just, I just want to help people. That's different because that can be from ego.
Mm-hmm.
Yours is, it's an openness I do think you're one of the natural conduits that comes down from the universe.
Thank you.
And
That's
that
very sweet.
I hope you also think that this is your purpose, because it's your whole being. Like you could have chosen to do something else other than acupuncture. Yeah. You're a fantastic practitioner, and you are a fantastic father and wonderful husband. And you're a good friend.
You are too.
You're a good human. He's a good one. He's one of the good ones. Sometimes the body doesn't need more effort. It needs the right conditions. And when that's there, what once felt stuck can begin to shift. Not because you forced it, but because your system no longer needs to protect in the same way. But even when you understand that, even when you know what supports you, there are still moments where you don't do it, where you override, push, go right back to what's familiar. And most of the time, that didn't start at the breaking point. It started long before that. And that's what we're going to talk about in our next episode. Our shift has ended for today.